Under the lights, it's hot, only 88 miles away from the equator. F1 goes racing in Singapore. Let's break down the weekend. Let's go. FP1. We saw the drivers going for it all out for whatever reason. Many getting close to the walls and really treating it like a quali session for some reason I don't know. FP2. A lot of talk about the legality of the rear wing on the Mclaren. Helmut Marko publicly protesting the wing and stating that he has raised it with the FIA 3 different times, whether informally or formally, and now they're looking at the front wing. Was this the reason for McLaren's massive progress over the last few races, and was it legal? What are your thoughts on this, and do you agree with Red Bull's protest? Let us know in the comments below. Checo with a black and white flag for crossing the pit lane exit line, but that was harsh because there was an Aston Martin right in front of him. What should he have done? Because the only other option is to run into the back of the car. Franco Colapinto heading to the wrong team during a pit stop. Happens to the best of them. He is brand new to F1, so we can forgive him for that one. And to be fair, the Alpine team looks quite similar to the Williams team kit. George into the barriers close to the end of FP2 with about 2 minutes left in the session at turn 7. Managed to reverse and get the car going again, but without the front wing. A lot of brushes with the wall, removing a lot of the sponsor's signs, but this made me think there may have been a safety car in the race. Let's move on to quali. In Q1, we saw that Max had a massive oversteer almost sliding into the wall, but managed to react quick enough to save it. The Red Bull surely looked quicker in quali than what we saw in the free practice sessions. Max kept it clean, language-wise, on the radio, but sounded very flustered about the traffic and calling other drivers idiots for not getting out of the way. But despite these complaints, Max made it through to Q2. Yet another save by Max in his first run in Q2 that could have been a disaster and ended his session. Even though he went off at the end of the lap, he still managed to beat Sergio's time. But of course, saving the car meant going over the line, and the time was deleted due to exceeding track limits. Russell struggled with his soft tires in Q1, complaining massively over the radio that the tires are very different than FP3, still made it through to Q2 nonetheless. We saw Danny Rick out of Q1, finishing P16, more on Danny Rick in a few minutes. Checo out in Q2. Honestly, expected better from Checo as he was doing well in Q1, tough position to start the Grand Prix. Can we talk about Yuki Tsunoda, who is really doing well in the RB? Massive props to him and his performance. Tough to see both Williams out of Q2 given the speed they had during practice, both for Albon and for Colapinto. Carlos into the wall at the final turn, sliding the back of his Ferrari quite slowly into the wall since he was starting a lap. Saying over the radio it might have been cold tires that caught him out. Pole position for Lando, which was expected. Max in second to share the front row with his closest championship contender. Tough one for Charles starting in 9th due to going wide in turn 2 and the time deleted due to track limits. Bit of a surprise for Oscar, thought he would have contended for the front row, maybe even a McLaren front row lockout, but wasn't meant to be. Let's switch gears a bit and talk about the race. Amazingly, no safety car on the first lap nor the entire race. That's a first for Singapore, I believe. I expected a safety car or at least one incident between the cars hitting each other or contacting the wall. Tough start for Alex Albon, dropping all the way to 15th. His teammate Colapinto held his own and maintained 9th in the first few laps. Albon came on the radio upset at the move from Franco, which I feel was just brilliant racing. Your thoughts? Was Alex right to complain about the move from Franco? We eventually see Alex retiring from the race due to overheating issues and the team deciding to save the engine. Lewis starting on a used set of softs. Not sure that was going to work for too long. George coming in on the radio saying he needs to pick up the pace because he's slowing him down. Can we talk about that McLaren? Lando Norris was 7 seconds ahead of Max by lap 13, 20 seconds ahead by lap 26, basically a full pit stop. That's just crazy to me. The pace is ridiculous on the McLaren, or is it that Red Bull have gone backwards a bit and is much slower? McLaren faster or Red Bull that much slower? Your thoughts in the comments below. Just before Lando pitted, he almost ran into the barrier with the mediums going off and resulted in a lockup. I'm sure Red Bull were on the edge to see if he would have crashed out of the race. Grand Slam for Lando Norris? Or not. Fastest lap went to Danny Rick, which could be his final race, but Lando with pole position and race winner. Well-deserved win, I think, for Lando. Close calls with the walls, but still a textbook win for the team. Good battle between Charles and Russell all the way to the end. Have to say a massive shout out to Nico Hülkenberg as well in the Haas. He did very well to hold off the likes of Sergio Perez. Max still leads the championship, but Lando edging ever so closer in the race. Will Max be able to win the 2024 championship? What are your thoughts? Comment below. Driver of the day to Daniel Ricciardo. Is this the end of his racing career in F1? I think so. Rumors were all over the socials saying that Liam Lawson would be stepping in for the remainder of the season in the RB team. Would be a tough one for Daniel, but maybe it's time to leave the sport. What are your thoughts? Let us know in the comments below. On a side topic, what do you make of Max Verstappen cursing in the FIA press conference prior to the race weekend? To go out and say 5 and 6 year olds will eventually curse makes no sense to me. No parent in their right mind would want their 5 or 6 year old running around cursing expletives. Eventually the FIA gave him a fine for the offensive language since he continued to curse after the host kindly asked him to take it easy with the language. A bit disappointed to see that from Max, to be honest, because so many young kids and other athletes look up to him and this shows very unprofessional sportsmanship. Have to say I agree with the FIA on this one. What are your thoughts about the incident involving Max and the curse words? Tell us in the comments below. That's all the time we have for today, but be sure to check out our other episodes here. Share your comments below and join the F1 discussion. Also check out our car merch at ModzCity.com. We feature some F1 inspired merch as well. Thanks so much for watching. This is Let's Talk F1.